Hi, it's Jay from Iridescent Tarot back with some more sparkle for you. Today I am wearing Haunted Lacquers, the Wilting Rose, and this is like a deep plummy base with blue and green shifty shimmers. It's so pretty and vampy. And then I thought because I was already in this vampy energy, I would wear Nocturne Alchemy's Vampire Vanilla Bat. The notes on this perfume are vanilla bean fleck, cobalt crystalline, Tahitian vanilla, French vanilla, and vanilla infused patchouli. And I read out all of those different vanillas to let you know how vanilla laden this is with a tiny bit of patchouli at the end, yet all I smell is patchouli. I'm like a hunting dog that can suss out any kind of like deeper, earthier, resinous smells, and this one, like, this is as like earthy as I get. It's definitely fall, Halloween, witchy vibes, and I rated about a 6.5 out of 10. So today I wanted to participate in Carrie from Carrie's Mystical Musings, her community tag titled #MyTarotIdentity, which she created in honor of her 3-year channelversary. Congratulations, Carrie. And yeah, I'm just really excited to talk about some of my favorite decks that relate back to my personality. So number 1 prompt, the deck that matches your outward aesthetic. Think home decor, wardrobe, or your style. And for this, I chose my beloved Carrottarts tarot. So the color gradients and spectrum of this tarot are like everything that I love in clothing. So basically you have pastel, green, blue, purple, pink, and then it's just like a lot of the same, but like slightly different throughout the suits. I tend to wear pretty plain clothes, and I really like having my like top and bottom match the same color. I know I'm kind of like a loser like that, but I just really like a monotone look. So like when you pull a spread and you get like all the same color come out, I just feel like it's me in aesthetic form. Similarly in my home decor, I like pretty simple. Like I'm pretty no frills. So even though I like antique things and I'm like a reformed tchotchke collector, I nowadays keep things pretty simple. The deck that fits a hidden or guilty pleasure aesthetic you secretly love and rarely show. This one was kind of hard for me. I chose the Weaver Tarot because it's got that glitz and glam aspect going on about it, and for my everyday life I'm not doing any kind of glitz or glam. I'm like in a mom bun, in my matching one-tone outfit that I can pick without thinking about it. So yeah, my hidden or guilty pleasure self would love to be able to do a little bit more glitz and glam and sparkles and fun, but my everyday self is not there. The deck that totally matches your personality, for me, that's gonna be Playful Heart Tarot. I know, I will never stop talking about the way that this deck just sits in my soul and can read me, because I resonate so deeply with the way that Zara from Kitten Chops has illustrated these images. I try to be pretty upbeat, and I have like a bubbly personality, and I get a lot of enjoyment from my hobbies and activities that like lend itself to this playful energy. So yeah, I think that this one totally matches my personality. The deck that represents a fun fact or something unique about you is this deck here. Don't ask me to pronounce it because I don't speak French, but I wish that I did in the worst way. And I purchased this deck in an antiques market in France. So when my husband and I were on our honeymoon in France, we did a bunch of day trips from Paris to other places, and we took bus tours. And on one of the days that we were coming back, the bus was driving us through Paris, and we were a few miles away from our, like end destination of getting off and being done with the trip. And as we were sitting in traffic, I look and I see under the overpass that there's a huge antiques market. And I'm a sucker for antiques. I love going through, and especially in France, like they just have the coolest stuff. And so I yelled and was like, "Stop the bus." And I had the driver just let me out there. And I walked around this antiques market, and yeah, I found a couple of tarot decks. And so this deck represents to me my love of all things French. And I wouldn't read with this deck because it's so delicate and old and crusty, but it just reminds me of that story so much. So yeah, my fun fact is that I love anything French. The deck that feels like your alter ego. So I picked the Guardian Angel tarot cards. This was another prompt that I struggled with because like I've more recently gotten into some of the Rose Path, Guardian Angel energy, and it's something that it's like my alter ego. This isn't something that I would like normally talk about in everyday life. And not a lot of people know it about me. So yeah, I feel like this is my alter ego deck. A deck that fits how you are as a bestie. And this is what I try to do for my best friends, is be there for them. So I thought that the I'm Here Oracle was a good representation of how I am as a bestie. This deck just gives you helpful advice as to where to go next. So you do your reading and you can pull one of these cards, and it really gives you like that touch point for direction of actionable steps of things that you can do to deal with your situation, to help yourself. And I try to provide that similar vibe to my friends. Like, where can I go? What can I do? How can I help? The deck that represents a place you'd love to live or a dream vacation. Fantastic Menagerie is very much based in France, and it's extremely noticeable when you read the guidebook, how involved these images are in French culture, and how J.J. Granville created them as like political commentary of his time. And so whenever I get to pull this out and read the guidebook, I just feel transported to France, which is like my happy place. And so for this, I chose the Fantastic Menagerie, a place I'd love to live. A deck that brings out my creative side is the Wild Unknown Tarot. So I have done a few things to be creative with this deck. Number one, I've edged the deck in this metallic dark gray color. Number two, I added little pops of color with colored pencil. There's not a lot, but just enough to like kind of give it a little bit more of an ombre me vibe. And then number three, I have taken some of the keywords and definitions from the guidebook and written them on the borders. And so I haven't quite finished that last step yet, the keyword part, and some of them are even written like within the card if they're particularly if they're specific to like the location. But yeah, this deck just brings out a creative side to me. Because it's mass market, I feel like I have permission to kind of like dude it up a little bit, and so I've really enjoyed like spending time with the Wild Unknown this way. The deck that represents the landscape in your dreams. So I thought about how in my dreams, like I typically am just in real life situations that are just like a little bit different than reality. And so the Yellow House Tarot was perfect for this because it's like within the house and within your reality, but like this entire deck is somebody else's reality. Like this is Heidi's reality. And while I relate to a lot of her depictions, like, you know, your deck is always going to be more personal to you, the creator, than to others. And so it's like, some of these are just like dreamy to me, where it's not quite my reality, but like it's close. And so I felt like this is how my dreams feel. Speaking of Yellow House, it is also my answer for prompt number 10, the deck that represents your life currently. This deck captures your mood, energy, or season of life at this moment. And so I still think that even though the Yellow House is not my house, it's close enough where, you know, and Heidi has shared that she's a mom, and just like for the season of life that I'm in right now, this card is like exactly perfect for just representing my life currently. This is the era that we're in, and we're living it to its fullest. So the bonus prompts are the deck that you secretly use for predictive readings, and we're back to the Guardian Angel tarot cards, because this is like the most gentlest, fluffiest tarot that I have, and even the more difficult cards aren't gonna rip you to shreds here. And so I typically don't enjoy predictive readings because I don't want to know. But if I do, like for example, I do the monthly envelope practice that Lisa Pepez has shared. And so for that, I use these cards, and that's why I only have a partial deck here. And that's part of the reason why, is that like I'm not going to pull a card and feel panicked about what's to come. It's just going to give me a little bit of a gentle pat on the back and guide me to a safe direction. And the last prompt is another bonus prompt, the one that spills the real tea. Maybe you don't always admit it, but this deck knows what's coming. And that's Shadowscapes. I feel like when I was in the thick of my like heavy workings with this deck, it was just always 100% of the time, like spot on, knew what was up, wasn't afraid to tell you. And yeah, I feel like she's blunt, but not brutal. And that's an important distinction. And you're going to get the honest truth from her. Intelligent and helpful. And I will always love this deck. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed my hashtag my tarot identity and getting to know me a little bit more. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I will talk to you later. Signing out.